Hello, my name is Lincoln Damaris. I'm a PM lead at Microsoft working on Microsoft Lists.
Hello everyone, this is Bharat Manoj, Senior Program Manager, Microsoft.
Today, we're super excited to talk to you all about some exciting innovations coming to the world of lists. At the Build conference this year, we launched a new M365 app called Microsoft Lists. This app is designed to help you track information and organize work. If you're one of the millions of people already using SharePoint lists to track and organize work, the Lists app makes it easier than ever before to get back to the lists that you rely on. If you're new to the world of lists, I hope this presentation convinces you to go out and give them a try. Think of lists as lightweight databases that anybody can create and customize. At the heart of every list is a flexible table of data where you can define the schema of the items you want to track. Using this power, anybody can start a list to track anything and everything that matters, including issues, assets, routines, contacts, inventory, incidents, and much more. If you're not into defining your own schema, that's okay. We've got you covered with our out-of-the-box templates. I'll show you some of them in a bit. The power of lists as lightweight databases becomes evident when you start layering custom formatting, views, and automations on top of your data to help your team stay productive and focused on what needs to get done. In this session, we're going to show you how to do this and much more in the browser, in Teams, and on your mobile device. And the best part is, because lists are a part of Microsoft 365, you can rely on enterprise-ready security and compliance for everything you see here. Before we go any further, we have a very important topic to discuss. A lot of you have been asking us, how do I take my SharePoint lists and make them Microsoft lists? Let me be very clear. You don't have to do anything. Microsoft Lists is an evolution of SharePoint lists. In other words, they're the same thing. If you're already an avid user of SharePoint lists, you can rest assured that everything we see today will work for all of your existing lists. There's this one caveat. You have to be using modern lists. Of course, classic lists are still fully supported, but there's no major changes or enhancements planned. This also means that if your current M365 subscription includes SharePoint, then it includes Microsoft Lists as well. So, to summarize, there is no migration path. Fire up your browser or Teams and start working with lists. Speaking of working with lists, I think it's about time to jump in and get started playing around.
We are looking at the Microsoft Lists app in the browser. We often refer to this page as Lists Home, because whether you're brand new to the world of lists, or if you're a seasoned veteran, it's your launching point into the world of lists. Let's take a look around. The Recent Lists section shows me all the lists that I've worked with recently across my M365 environment. Lists can live in a variety of different places. For example, this Strat Review Prep list lives in the H2 2020 Planning Team site. If I click it, I can view and work with the list. I can click this link in the breadcrumb, H2 2020 Planning, to go directly to the team site to view more collateral in this team site related to this project where the list is. If I click back in the breadcrumb, I go back to Lists Home. This top issues for the team list is in my list, which means that I've created this list as a personal list. The new candidates list is a list that Michaela Barrett has created and shared with me. I can click this list, and you can see that not all lists look the same. Under the covers, every list is a table with rows and columns, but lists can be customized with beautiful views like this gallery view that really puts a highlight on the picture of each of the candidates. I can quickly customize the appearance of the list tile for any of these lists by clicking Customize. I can rename the list, pick a different color, pick a different icon, and click Save. This will customize the appearance of this list tile for anybody that sees this list on their list home page. If I want to make it super quick and easy to get back to any one of these lists later, I can click the star icon to add it to the Favorites section at the top of the page. I can quickly drill in to see only lists that I have created in my personal space by clicking My Lists. I'll go back to view all recent lists. Let's take a look at how easy it is to get started with a new list by clicking the New List button at the top of the page. There are many ways to create a new list. You can select the blank list option to start with, you guessed it, a totally blank list. The From Excel option is great if you've got a bunch of data in Excel and you want to get it into a list to take advantage of custom views, forms, and automations. Starting from an Excel table, you can choose how data should be mapped into list columns. For example, this should be a choice column, this should be another choice column, and this should be multiple lines of text. The From Existing List option is great if you have a list that already exists in your environment and you want to create a copy of its schema, views, formatting, and rules. Last but not least, we have a set of purpose-built list templates. Using a template is often the fastest way to get started tracking information for your team. Templates come with preset schema, formatting, and views that help you organize and track common types of information. For example, the issue tracker template is great if you want to track issues and bring them to closure. The event itinerary list is great if you want to organize sessions for a virtual conference and keep the team organized. For now, let's give this template a try, the Work Progress Tracker. This is great when you want to track team priorities and progress as you work towards delivering some outcome. I'll click Use Template, and now I can name my list. I can give it a description if I want, and I can pick my favorite color and icon. I also have the option of where I save my list. I can save it to My Lists, which makes it a personal list that only I can see and I can share later. I can also pick a team site from this list if I want to create this list in the team site, but I want to create a personal list, so I'll just click Create. The first thing I want to do with my new list is get some data inside of it. The fastest way to do this is to edit it in the grid, which gives you a familiar spreadsheet-like experience for working with data. If you're at home in Excel, you're going to be really comfortable with this feature. When you're filling out the value in a choice field, the formatting applied by the template is evident when you're making your selection. You can also paste data in, so I can click Add New Item, hit Ctrl-V on my keyboard, and data from my clipboard appears in my list. Again, the schema and formatting from the template is applied to the data that I add. I can also use tricks like click and drag to apply a value across a range of cells. But when you're editing data quickly like this, it can be easy to make a mistake and do something you regret. For that reason, I'm super excited to announce that we are bringing undo-redo capabilities to Microsoft Lists. So I can click the undo button to erase that change that I just made. In fact, I can click multiple times to go back to how things were when I started this demo. Of course, I can go and redo all of that as well. And if I want to just undo that last change, I'll just hit Ctrl-Z on my keyboard. Of course, common keyboard shortcuts will work, and I'll go back to how things were before I made that click and drag selection. Things are looking pretty good, so I'm going to start assigning some of the higher priority issues to members of my team. I'm also going to customize the list a bit by clicking and dragging and giving some data a little bit more room. This is looking wonderful, so I'm going to click Share. Recall that when I created this list, I created it in My Lists, which means it's a personal list that only I can see. So if I want Michaela and Grady to come in and help me get work done, I have to share it with them. Just like sharing a file, clicking Grant Access will send them a link, and they'll be able to click that in their email and get back to this list. As a finishing touch, I'm going to click this star to add it to my favorites so I can easily get back to this list later. Let's switch gears and talk about how lists can help you get work done smarter in Microsoft Teams. Teams is the hub for teamwork in Microsoft 365. It brings content from services like OneDrive, SharePoint, and lists together with conversations so you can stay productive without having to switch between apps all the time. In my Hiring 101 channel, you can see there are some conversations happening about some candidates we're considering hiring for our team. Sure enough, these candidates are being tracked in a list. I can quickly access that list by clicking on the corresponding tab. Inside this tab, we see a Teams-tailored list experience with full feature parity. So for example, I can edit data using the same grid-based experience that we were looking at before. If there's any custom views in this list, I can switch to see them inside of Teams. So we can see this gallery view that places emphasis on the candidate's photos. If the form has been customized, I can access that inside of Teams as well. A form is like a master view for an item that shows all of its metadata. When a list is embedded inside of a Teams channel, you can also view the conversation in the context with the form. If I participate in this conversation, this is specific to the channel that the list tab is in. So if I participate here, and I go back to the Hiring 101 posts, you can see that item that I added inside the context of the form. Adding a list to a Teams channel is super simple. Let's take a look. I'm going to go to the General channel for my H2 2020 planning team. To add a list, all I have to do is click plus, and then click Lists. After clicking Save, I have a choice. I can add an existing list. When I choose this option, I can pick from the list that already exists in the backing site for this group. Or I can specify any list via its link. I can also create a brand new list. When I choose this option, I get the same set of choices that we saw earlier on List Home, including the ability to create a blank list, a list from Excel, a list from an existing list, or a list from one of our purpose-built templates. When you're inside of Teams, you get a few additional options. You get some industry-specific list templates. There's one for tracking incidents, there's one for tracking patients, and there's one for tracking loans. Or I can choose one of the familiar options like the issue tracker. That makes sense for this team. As before, I can name the list, give it a description, and give it a color and an icon. And it's as simple as that. That's all it took to create a brand new list for my team to collaborate on inside of Microsoft Teams.
Let's recap what we just walked through. I showed you our new Lists app in the browser. This is currently rolling out, along with the Lists icon in the M365 Suite navigation menu that takes you there. If you're a targeted release customer, you can give this a try today. On this page, you can view recent lists across your personal lists, shared lists, and across all your sites. You can also search across all these lists using the search box, and you can create new lists using the New List button. Today, the only way to see a list in your recent section is to visit that list first. Down the road, we'll be enhancing this page with intelligent recommendations of lists that you should visit based on what's happening around you to help you stay on top of what matters most. We also walked through the process for creating a new list. Whether you start from the Lists app, a Teams site, or a Teams channel, you get the same set of options. Create a list from blank, start from Excel, create a list from an existing one, or start from one of our ready-made list templates. You can create a personal list that only you can see until you're ready to share it. Or you can create a list directly in a Teams site you're already working in. Down the road, we're going to be introducing more and more ready-made list templates for common information tracking scenarios. Later this year, we will also provide capabilities that allow organizations control over the list of templates available to their end users. This is super important. This will include the ability for organizations to define their own templates with out-of-the-box schema, views, formatting, forms, and automations that are tailored to the specific needs of the organization. For those of you familiar with creating SharePoint site designs, list templates are built on top of the same underlying technology. Lists are a tool for getting work done collaboratively, so we're super excited to offer a Teams-tailored, full-featured experience for lists inside Microsoft Teams. Rest assured that you don't have to switch back and forth between Teams and your browser to take advantage of lists while you're working with your teams. Inside the Teams app, you can embed any existing list in a channel, or you can create a new list. You can also have conversations on list items. Conversations are channel specific. So if a list is embedded in more than one channel, every item might have multiple conversation streams that are only visible to members of the corresponding channel. When creating a list inside Teams, you have the same set of templates available to you, plus a few team-specific options. These are industry-specific solution templates for collaboratively tracking incidents, loans, and patients. Down the road, we'll be investing in building more of these industry-specific templates, each one optimized for collaborative tracking scenarios within a specific industry. We'll also continue adding more features that help teams work seamlessly together using lists. Next up is something that I think is going to blow your mind a little bit. I knew it blew my mind when I first saw it. I'm proud to announce Project Nucleus, which is an exciting new technology that will power the next generation of all of our web applications and portals. Nucleus ensures that all your data is always available, regardless of the speed of your internet connection or the size of the list that you're working with. If you've fallen in love with how the OneDrive app ensures all your files are always available on your device, regardless of your connectivity, prepare to fall in love all over again. The really exciting thing about this technology is that it will improve the experience inside of lists, especially large lists, even when you're online. This is because the application works against the local cache of your data. So operations no longer have to make synchronous round trips between the client and the backend every time. So when you do things like sort, filter, group, or scroll inside a large list, these things happen instantly without any throttling. A preview of this technology will be available for you to try later this year. Stay tuned for announcements. Let's take a look at what it's like to work inside a Nucleus-powered list.
I'm now inside my hardware inventory list. The first thing you'll see, if you look at the bottom of the page, is that there are 200,000 items in this list. This definitely qualifies it as a large list. If I apply a sort inside this list, you'll see this happens instantly. If I switch to a view that groups by title, this is also instant. You'll also see that the group headings and the counts next to each one are complete, regardless of the size of my list. Next, I'm going to edit an item. I'm going to pull open the form for this one, and I'm going to change the status to available. Now look closely next to the title. You'll see a small progress icon next to the star that indicates that those changes are being sent back up to the server. By doing this in the background, this is how we ensure that the user interface always feels fast and fluid, no matter what the network condition is. Speaking of network conditions, let's go nuclear. Let's flip my computer into airplane mode. Now this is the cool part. After losing network connectivity, I can continue to work just like I did before. I can switch views. Again, it's instant. I can apply a filter. I can apply two filters. And again, it happens fluidly and instantly. Of course, I can do anything from switching a view style to applying a sort. And yes, even bringing back that group by clause. It's all instant, even when I'm offline. Sure enough, editing items works as well. While I'm offline, I can make another quick edit, click Save. Now again, if you look next to the title, there's a different status icon that indicates that there are changes that need to be synced back up to the server once I come online. Now if I do go back online, you'll see that the status icon next to the title will change, indicating that my changes are being saved, and it's business as usual.
Our next demo is a really important one. So far, everything I've done has been on a desktop computer, but we all know how important it is to have your data on the go. Our team is hard at work ensuring that lists work great on your mobile device. I'm pleased to introduce Manoj, who will take you on a tour of our Microsoft Lists iOS app, which will be available for preview later this year.
Hello again. We are very excited to announce Microsoft List app for iOS. Using the List app, you can access Microsoft Lists anytime, anywhere on the go. Come, let's check out the app.
Home screen of the app has favorites, recents, and my list sections. All the lists that you have accessed across SharePoint sites and multiple endpoints, such as web or mobile, will automatically show up for you in the recent section of the app. You can pick one of those lists and mark it as favorites, like this. All your personal lists will reside at My List section. Now let's check out how data is shown on the List mobile app. Consuming content on the List app is effortless. This is because the first cell of each list item is made available as the title of the item as you start scrolling horizontally. This title, being in context at any scroll position, gives you enough confidence to consume or edit any cell's data without being worried about which item it belongs to. List app is edit ready canvas, which means you simply have to tap on the cell you wish to edit, make the change, and commit. That's all. It's that simple. Various data types has their own dedicated edit controls carefully designed for a mobile-first experience. Hence, editing on the List app is super simple. Let me show you some examples. This is Choice Edit Control. This is People Edit Control. The beauty of the Microsoft List app is that your entire address book of the enterprise is made available out of the box. This is your date picker, number edit control, S-no toggle, location control. You can skim through the data by scrolling horizontally or vertically. At any scroll position, if you wish to focus on a particular list item, you simply have to tap on the title of the item to open the data in a full-blown item form. And yes, you can also edit on this form. You can add new data to the list by tapping on the plus icon at the bottom, fill the form, and commit. That's it. Now let's see how you can organize data on the List app. You can sort, filter, and group data on the List app. Simply tap on the sort icon, pick the column you wish to sort on, and pick the sort order. Now at any scroll position, you can also tap on the column title to sort or filter or group by, like this. You can also get rid of these sorts of filters by simply resetting them. Now let's add new columns to the list. Simply tap on the Add column and choose among the various column options. Okay, all these are good, but how will data look in dark mode? Let's check that out. As you can see, your data looks gorgeous even in dark mode. We do understand that you might use this app on the go, which means you might have flaky or even no network at times. So we've made sure that the app is functional even in the no network situation. You can consume data or even organize data by using sort, filter, or group, even in the offline mode. Isn't this amazing? Okay, now let me get back to the network to show you how to create new list within the app. Simply tap on the plus icon at the bottom. Name the list. Add some description. Pick a color and an icon and tap on create. That's all. Add new columns and make the list your own. By the time you get this app in your hands, you'll also have creating via templates. I really hope you loved the demo of the app.
So let's take a quick recap of what we have seen. We have designed Microsoft List app so carefully that your experience on the app will be fast and fluid. Its mobile-first design lets you experience, consume, and edit data so fluidly on the app. Microsoft List app has value parity with the web in terms of core functionalities, which include accessing lists from the list home, creating new lists, viewing data in a mobile-friendly manner, editing lists, and much more. And yes, we are ready for our private preview program. Please scan the QR code or follow the link to register yourself to experience the app and give your feedback. Looking forward to working with you to make the List app best in class. Thank you.
So far, we've gotten to see lists working in the browser, in Teams, online, offline, and on your mobile device. It's time to talk features. Let's dig into a list and look at some powerful capabilities that help your team track data and work smart.
I'm back inside the work progress tracker list that I created earlier. The first thing that I want to do is add some styling that draws attention to items that don't have anything in the Assign To field. To accomplish this, I'm going to go to the View Picker and pick Format Current View. I'm going to specify I want conditional formatting. I'll create a rule that says if Assign To is equal to nothing, give the items kind of a nice little red highlight there. This is good, but it's a little bit noisy. I want to draw attention to only the most important items. So I'm going to add a second condition. And if priority is not equal to low. This is much better. This is striking a good balance. I'm ignoring the thing that has priority low, and these other two that don't have anybody assigned to them have a highlight around them. The next thing I want to do is draw attention to the due date. So if something is due today, or if it's overdue, I want to draw attention to that. So I'm going to go under Due Date, select Format this column, and again, I'm going to specify conditional formatting. again, I'm going to create a rule that says if the due date is on or before today, well, then I want to make it bold. I click on More Styles. I can remove this fill color, go to bold, and for grins, I'm going to make it red. But I only want to specify this styling if the item is not complete. If the due date is passed, but the item is complete already, then there's really no need to shine a light on it. So I'm going to click Add Condition, and if progress is not equal to done, or sorry, completed, okay, I've got that conditional formatting specified, and just to make sure it works, I'm going to click on this item. I'm going to mark it completed. Okay, and we see that formatting go away. Perfect. The next thing I want to do is get a visualization of when items are starting, when they're due, and how long things are taking. In order to do this, I'm going to create a calendar view. I'm going to go again under the View dropdown, create New View, and now we have this new option that allows you to create a calendar. So I'm going to call this Item Calendar, because I'm very creative. The start date is the start date, and the end date is the due date. I'm just picking between different date time fields that exist on this list to define which dates impact my calendar. I'll keep it as a public view, click Create, and as simple as that, I get a calendar of my items. So you can see when they're starting, when they're due. On things that have a single day duration, you see them show up in a single day. When I tap on an item, you are rest assured that it's the same data under the covers. Click on an item to get the same form view that you could get before.
The next thing I want to do is ensure that when people are assigned work items inside this list, they find out about it. To accomplish this, I'm going to create a rule. Rules allow you to define simple automations that send notifications to the right people when certain things happen. In this case, I want to notify someone when a column changes. I want to say when assigned to changes, send email to that person in the assigned to field. I'll click Create, and you can see this rule is active. Well, let's fire off some emails. To make that happen, all I have to do, as per my rule, is place some values in the assigned to field. In this case, I'm going to assign all of these issues to Megan Bowen. Great. Now I can rest assured that Megan is going to be made fully aware that she has 3 items assigned to her, as per the rule I set up. Let's do one more thing. I want to create a rule just for me. I'm the leader of this project, so I want to keep tabs on what's happening. So I'm going to say, when a new item is created, send email to me. This will help me keep tabs on what's going on. Whenever someone creates an item in this list, I will get an email with a link to that item. Since I assigned a bunch of issues to Megan, and I know she's going to get emailed about that soon because of the rules that I set up, the next thing I want to do is set her up for success. The way I'm going to do that is leaving her a comment. To do that, I'm going to click this Add a Comment button. When I click that, I'll see the item's form with all of its metadata, and the comments pane adjacent to that. Comments are a really easy way to leave a note to anybody who views an item's form. So I'm going to leave Megan just a quick idea. Send out the survey. Since the email's rule send out link directly to an item's form, I know that she'll see this comment right away. And also anybody who opens this form will see that comment and be able to leave replies. Items that have comments are easily identifiable because of this icon that lights up next to the title. I'm going to do a little bit more work on this form to ensure that my team stays focused and productive. I want to only show the notes field when the priority of the item is critical. Otherwise, notes aren't really relevant, and I want people to stay focused only on the most important data. So I'm going to click Edit Columns, and I'm going to, next to Notes, Edit Conditional Formula. Here, I can specify a simple if statement that specifies a rule that says when notes should be shown and when it should not. So in this case, I've said if priority is critical, show it. Otherwise, don't. I'll click Save, and we can see it working. Since priority is high, I don't get notes. If I click critical and save, then I get notes. It's as easy as that. The features that I've shown you during this demo, including custom views, conditional formatting, rules, and custom forms, can come together to realize some really powerful information tracking scenarios for your team. Let's check out this new candidates list. It features a gallery view. Gallery is a great way to place emphasis on visual data inside of your list, particularly great when you have a photo on every item. To customize a gallery view, first select Gallery, and then click Format Current View, and then Edit Card. This allows you to pick which fields are shown in the form, and in what order, and whether visual information is shown. You can make them tall or short, depends on what information you want to have front and center when people load the view. This list also features a highly customized form. When I tap an item, I can see that in action. This form has a custom header and custom sections that contain different types of fields depending on their purpose. To access this functionality, I can click this button and go Configure Layout. This allows you to specify JSON formatting for the header, for the body, and for the footer. There's a ton of power here, and you can learn more by clicking this Learn More link, and you can find samples under that as well. The first thing that we saw during that demo is the ability to apply conditional formatting to lists. You can format entire rows or individual cells. I walked you through a couple of simple scenarios, but you can do a lot more. You can create some really complex visualizations if you're willing to dig deep into the advanced mode and learn our conditional formatting JSON syntax. Or you can start from one of our examples in GitHub. Next, I showed you the power of calendar and gallery views in lists. Calendar is great for any list that uses date-time columns and you want to see what's happening when. Gallery is great when you have visual data that you want to arrange in a grid. These features are coming soon. You'll be able to create these views inside any list. Down the road, we'll be working hard on improving all these features. In particular, there's a lot more that will be coming to the calendar view, like the ability to switch between day, week, and month layouts, and the ability to color code items. We'll also be adding new view types like Kanban, which is great when you have items moving through a serial process and you want to visualize how things are progressing. Rules are a fundamental feature when you want to keep your team aware of what's happening and what they have to do. It's pretty simple. You can configure them to send emails to the right people when certain things happen inside of a list. Rules can fire when a column changes, when a new item is created, or when an item is deleted, and send email to precisely the right person who should be aware that's happening. Down the road, we want to make rules more flexible and do more than just send emails. We're working on the ability for rules to create tasks assigned to people and send notifications to team channels. The best lists are like the best files. They're the product of multiple people working together and making contributions. You can share lists and list items using the same sharing dialog used by files and folders. Rolling out now is the ability to share list items by sending around a sharing link or by granting access directly. Also rolling out is the ability to share lists themselves by granting access to them. Link-based sharing for lists is coming later this year. Using the commenting pane, you can leave comments for collaborators to see when they open the sharing link for an item or when they open an item's form. Later this year, you will also be able to @mention people, which will automatically send them a notification linking them to the item. For me personally, @mentions inside comments has totally transformed how I work collaboratively inside of files. So it's one of the features I'm most excited about for lists. We also saw how you can customize list forms to streamline data entry scenarios and provide important contextual information next to items. It's super simple to show, hide, and reorder fields in the form in the product today. Just point, click, and drag. Soon, we will begin rolling out the ability to conditionally show hide fields. In other words, only show a particular field when a condition is met. Also coming soon is the ability to define custom header and footer sections inside of a form and customize the form body by arranging fields into sections. This is super useful when your lists have a lot of data and you want to ensure that your users can easily read through it and update the right data quickly. There's so much more you can do with lists by leveraging the Power Platform. With Power Apps, you can build totally custom list forms, as well as totally custom applications that work great on mobile devices, using lists as the backend data store. And you can use Power Automate to make your workflow dreams come true. Fun fact, updating a list item is one of the most popular ways in the service today to kick off complex automations that connect to a variety of Microsoft-provided and third-party services. What you've seen here today is just the surface. If you're interested in learning more about lists, please check out these great sessions to learn the next level of detail. To learn even more, please check out these handy links. Thank you so much for attending our presentation. I hope you're impressed with what you've seen, and I hope you all go out and try Microsoft Lists. There's just one thing left to do: make a list and let it flow.